Welcome to the Radical Success Podcast, where we focus on internal transformation to experience external results. I'm your host and coach, Doreen Rainey. Join me each week for insightful messages and powerful interviews to equip you to take bold, courageous, and radical action to live the life you want and deserve. Hey, welcome to this latest episode. I am Doreen Rainey, your coach, your host, your teacher, your trainer. And before I jump into today's topic, I want to start off by just giving a huge thank you. Thank you. And who am I thanking? I am thanking you. I so appreciate all of you for tuning in, for listening, leaving comments, leaving reviews, sharing this podcast. I do not take it lightly that I get to spend this time with you and that you've chosen to spend your time with me. We live in a time when there is always something going on, always something competing for our time, whether it's work or family, or whether we're focused on some volunteer activities or building a business. And so the fact that you take a little time out of your week to spend with me, I just want to say thank you. And I truly appreciate you. So today's topic is one that I really came to realize many years ago, but was highlighted again this week as I had a call with one of my coaching clients. And the topic that we're going to be talking about today is what I call formula versus method. Formula versus method. And I think when you really understand the distinction of what these two things represent, your quest to reach your goals, whether it's around your business, career, finances, relationships, whatever that looks like, will become much more clearer for you and will probably provide a more simpler path to get you to where you want to be. And so I'm really excited to share this insight with you today. Now, before I jump in to our topic for today, I just want to give a shout out to all of the members of our Radical Success Inner Circle. If you aren't a part of this community, you are really missing out on some fantastic content and some great connections. The Inner Circle is really your radical library. You get access to over 30 hours of training and lessons and mini courses that really help you take the content that I'm sharing in these podcasts and really break it down in a way that allows you to apply it to your own particular situation or circumstance. And one of the highlights of our Radical Library is all of the sessions from my last live event, the Radical Success Intensive. And so if you didn't have a chance to make that event, or if you went to that event and you were like, oh my gosh, it was so amazing, there were so many notes, here's your opportunity to go back and get all of those sessions. And we talked about the power of intentions. We looked at understanding your mindset DNA. We looked at the process for authentic goal setting. We talked about the 5 leadership traits that every person must possess to really live their authentic life. And so if you want access to these videos as well as other trainings, videos from interviews and other keynotes and trainings, I highly suggest you jump on over to DoreenRainey.com, click on Inner Circle, and go ahead and get immediate access to all of this incredible content to help you create the radical results that you are looking for. And so let me jump into this conversation around formula versus method. So last week I was talking with a coaching client, and she was sharing with me that she was in a job that was paying the bills that she didn't hate. She, kind of enjoyed it somewhat. But what she really wanted to do was go to law school. And she was struggling with the decision of quitting her job in order to do that. And that really brought me back to what I had discovered years ago around this concept of formula versus method. And so before I share with you what my advice to her was, I want to kind of take you back a little bit to when I first began my entrepreneurial journey. So I've been in business for over 10 years. And so as you can imagine, I have experienced all kinds of ups and downs and wins and losses and successes and failures and lessons and just all kinds of stuff. And I am not unique in that. I bet that anyone, including you, if you're an entrepreneur, then you've experienced some of these exact same things. And when I began building my coaching practice, just like so many other business owners that I networked with and that I knew, we were constantly looking for ways to grow our business. And grow your business is really just a fancy name for I want more money, right? Because when we're talking about growing our business, what we're really saying is I need to make more money. And in this age of digital marketing and social media and email marketing, I have been, as I'm sure other entrepreneurs have been, inundated over the years with people telling me that if I take their course, if I coach with them, if I come into their mastermind, if I buy this product, if I read this book, then they will show me the way to business success. They will show me the way to market. They will show me the way to more clients. They will show me the way to more sales. But over the years, what I have learned from investing in that course, that program, that mastermind, that book, is that there is really a difference between the way and a way. And not only does this difference apply in my particular example around entrepreneurship, it also applies to all other areas of our lives as well. So let me kind of break down what I mean. So the way, when someone says that this is the way to something, what they are really saying is that this is the only way to get whatever it is you want or wherever it is you want to go. This is one way, the only way. It's singular. If you don't do it this way, you will not do it because this is the way. Now, when you talk about a way says that this process, what I'm about to tell you, is one of many, right? A way means that there must be other ways, that there are other options that you could also choose to get where you want to be. And so we have to be mindful when we are going for our goals and we are looking for that path to get there, when we're really trying to figure out what actions we need to take, what steps we need to take, we really need to be clear that if our end result that we are looking for requires the way or requires a way. And what I would venture to say is that in order to make your goals a reality, in order to get some of the accomplishments and achievements that you want in the areas that are most important to you, you actually need both. You need the way, and then you need a way. And I think for many of us, we have only been focused on the way, and we've either become frustrated or we've become a little overwhelmed, or maybe things aren't moving as fast as we'd like them to move because we've only been focused on the way. So I akin the way and a way to this concept of formula versus method. And I believe that as you go out into this world and you want to create success with your family, with your finances, whether you're starting a business or growing your career, that you really need to understand both of these concepts for your goals. You need to understand the formula that's required, and you need to understand the method that you need to take. So if you have been tuning into this podcast for any period of time, or if you have attended any of my trainings or webinars, you know that I am a definition kind of girl. And this is no different. And so I want to start off by defining for you formula. So when you have a formula, what you are really saying is that you have a fixed pattern used to get consistent results. When you say you have a formula, you're really saying that I have a procedure that needs to be followed in this exact way. And when you do that, you will get this result. That is what a formula is. It is unyielding, it's unbending, and it's really not up for debate. The formula is the formula. And when you put that fixed pattern, that procedure in place, then you can be sure that this is the result that you would get. So a formula is different from a method. A method is a way of getting to a result. It is a way of getting to a result. And there are many ways inside of a method that can get you to your results. Now, if you got it and this completely makes sense to you, you're probably already thinking about some of your goals and kind of measuring them out against the formula and the method. If it hasn't quite clicked for you yet, if you are kind of scratching your head going, what is she talking about? It pretty much sounds the same to me. Then hang with me. I'm going to kind of walk you through this. So what really got me on this idea of formula versus method was something that I came across. Oh my gosh, it had to be 5 years ago, 7 years ago. It was a while ago. And what it was the People's Magazine special issue that they did every year that was titled Half Their Size. So if you're not familiar with this, People Magazine puts out this special section highlighting people who have lost half their weight or more. And they would, do a profile of these people, and they talk about their journey and the lessons that they've learned and who they've become in this process. And it was in reading those stories that this concept became so clear to me. And when you look at that, and when you read those people's stories, what you'll realize is that in order for these people to lose half their weight or more, they had to understand the formula, and then they had to choose a method. And I think that this is a great example because I think most people can relate to weight loss, right? I don't know if I've met anyone in my entire life that at some point didn't want to lose a few pounds. Whether it was these last nagging 5 pounds or vacation pounds, or whether it was, 40, 50, 60 pounds. So using this as an example, I think will make it very relatable. So the formula for losing weight hasn't really changed, right? It is a fixed pattern that you can use to get predictable and consistent results. If you want to lose weight, you must burn more calories than you take in. That is the formula for losing weight. If you want to lose weight and create a healthier lifestyle, then the formula is you must burn more calories than you take in, and the calories that you take in should be as close to natural, plant-based, non-processed food as possible. Now, if you want to lose weight, become healthier, and become more fit, then the formula is you must burn more calories than you take in. You must eat healthier, non-processed, as close to natural foods as you can. And you must incorporate resistance training so that you can build up muscle, build up strength, build up your core, and build up endurance. Right? That's the formula. And it doesn't matter how many times you try to figure out a new way of losing weight, being healthier, or getting fit. The truth is, it's going to always come back to that formula. Now, here's the thing. You know what the formula is. Now you get to choose the method. Now you get to decide how you will burn more calories than you take in, how you will eat more plant-based, non-processed foods, and how you will add more resistance training or cardio training to your routine. That was so highlighted for me in the People magazine, Half Their Size. That is when I got this aha moment around formula versus method. Because as I read the stories of these people, one of the things was very, very clear. They lost half their weight. They lost 100 pounds. They lost 120 pounds, 130 pounds. Like, these people lost some serious weight. And for all of them, how they lost the weight was the same way that everybody has to lose weight. It's the formula. All of those people took in less calories than they burned. For those who wanted a healthier lifestyle, they moved more to a natural, non-processed way of eating. And for those who wanted to be stronger, more physically fit, they added resistance training and cardio training to their routine. But the method that they chose was different for every person in that special issue. There was one person who lost half their weight, and what they did was they bought a pair of tennis shoes. They bought a pair of tennis shoes, and they said that they put those shoes on every day and they walked. They walked. And for someone who was severely overweight, they talked about the journey of being able to only walk like 5 minutes initially. And then slowly over time, they began to be able to walk 7 minutes, and then 10 minutes, and then 18 minutes, and then 20 minutes, and then 30 minutes, and then 40 minutes. And then they were able to kind of walk and do a little half kind of sort of jog until they were at the point where they were running miles every day, having lost a significant amount of weight. There was another person highlighted in this episode that had lost a significant amount of weight and had gone to Jenny Craig. And she had used this idea of community and support and portion control and the food that they provide to help her lose a significant amount of weight. And then there was someone that was highlighted that had gastric bypass surgery. And after the surgery, they had worked with their nutritionist, they had worked with a mental health specialist so that they could really overcome the internal and external factors that were causing them to live a life where they use food as comfort. And then there was someone who hired a personal trainer, and they just decided, I'm going to invest this money, and they worked with a trainer for almost a year, really watching their food, working out consistently, and having this trainer guide them through this weight loss journey. And so all of them had a formula. They knew they had to reduce their calories and burn more than they took in. All of them knew that. The formula doesn't change, but the method that you use is where you get to find the thing that works for you. And that is the crux of this entire podcast. That once you identify the formula for what you want to achieve, now you get to choose the method that will work best for you. And, it's funny because over the last year, a little over a year, I have been working on my physical health. I've been working on my formula for losing weight and getting fit. And over the past year or so, I've lost about 70 pounds. And people ask me, how did you do it? How did you do it? What'd you do? What'd you do? And my answer is always the same. You know what I did. I don't think there is one person listening to this podcast that doesn't know how to lose weight. Whether you have weight to lose, whether you've lost weight, or whether you don't even have a weight issue. I guarantee you, if someone asks you, hey, I'm thinking about, losing some weight. Any ideas? You would be able to share with them how to lose weight. Why? Because the formula doesn't change. It's the method. And so I always tell people, you know how I lost the weight. You know I ate less calories and I burned more calories, right? That's the formula. And once you have identified the formula, now all you have to do is decide which method you're going to use to incorporate that formula. Now, what I will say about the formula is that many times we don't like the formula, right? The reason we keep searching and searching and searching is because we hope that there is a different formula that can get us to our goal. And the truth is, whether you are focused on weight loss or whether you are looking at your money or your business or your career, once you know the formula is set. And just because the formula seems hard, or just because you don't like the formula, or just because you don't have enough self-control or discipline or skill set to actually work that formula, that doesn't mean that the formula is going to change. The formula is the formula. And the faster you can accept that this is the way that it must happen in order to get where I want to be, the faster you can move into the method that you can incorporate into that formula. So how can this apply to other areas of our lives? So let's take a look at our money. Let's say that you have a goal of experiencing financial freedom in the sense that you want to be able to live a life where money is not an issue for you, or that you want to leave a legacy for your children or for your family or for generations to come. You want to build wealth. Well, when it comes to building wealth, there is a formula for that, right? In order to build wealth, you have to spend less than you bring in. That's one of the components of building wealth. Building wealth says that you stay out of consumer debt, not buying things that you actually cannot afford, right? That's part of building wealth. The other part of building wealth is that you must invest wisely so that you can get a return on your money and your money can make money for you. That's the formula for building wealth. You got to spend less than you make, live below your means. You have to stay out of consumer debt. Don't get in the trap of buying things that you cannot afford. And you must be able to invest wisely, to have your money work for you. Now, knowing that formula, you get to now choose the method in which you do that. So when it comes to living below your means, spending less than you make, for some people, that could mean that my method is I'm going to live with my parents so that I can work on building my wealth. For other people, it could mean I am going to move out of the house that I'm living in and I am going to move into a smaller house. I'm going to downsize. I'm going to move into an apartment. For other people, it could mean, you know what? I am going to get rid of this car and I'm going to drive this car because I am spending more than I make. And I recognize that because I'm using credit cards to cover, or I'm not able to save. You know, maybe I'm not spending more than I make, but I definitely don't have any left over to move to that next step, which is investing wisely. I'm not contributing to my 401k. I'm not maximizing those contributions. And so when you decide on the method, you get to choose that. When you talk about investing wisely, one person's method may be, I am going to invest in stocks. I'm going to understand how the stock market works, and I'm going to put my money in the market. Other people may decide their method is real estate investing. I'm going to buy some multi-door units. I am going to look into buying commercial real estate. I am going to look into buying property that I can flip or rent out. That's another method for the formula. Someone else may say, I'm going to invest wisely by starting my own business. I'm going to invest in me because I know I can build wealth by building a business that can be profitable, that can be sold later on, or that can be passed down for the next generation. Another person's method for building wealth might be to invest in someone else's business. Right? You've looked at a business plan. You've looked at what someone has already accomplished and what they're able to do. And so you're going to invest in their dream and know that when they become successful, you'll get a return on that money. So the formula, invest wisely, now gets to coincide with the method that you choose in order to invest wisely. So going back to my client who, has a job, but wants to go to law school and was really struggling with quitting her job to do that. And so I pulled this out to her, this formula versus method. And I shared with her, yes, There is a formula to become an attorney. The formula is you must take the LSAT, you must apply to law school, you must get into law school, finish law school, take and pass the bar exam. That's the formula for becoming a lawyer. It is the fixed pattern, right? There's no way around it. So now you get to choose the method in which you complete that formula. For some people, the method would be, I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to spend all of my time studying for the LSAT. And as soon as I can take the LSAT, I'm going to take the LSAT, get my score, apply to law school, go to law school full time, take the bar, pass the bar, and then become a lawyer. That's one method. Another method is I am going to keep my job. And while I'm keeping my job, I'm going to take an online course or a night course to help me study for the LSAT. Once I feel like I have enough knowledge and I'm ready to take the LSAT, I'll take the LSAT and I will apply to law schools that have a night program or a part-time program so that I can keep working. Now, that might take me longer than option A, but I'm still working the formula. Sitting for the LSAT, taking the exam, going to law school. That's another method. A third method for becoming a lawyer could be that I'm going to quit my job, but I'm going to get a part-time job. And I'm going to adjust my living expenses, my finances. I'm going to get a part-time job so that I can go sit for the LSAT, go to law school full-time while I'm working my part-time job, because that'll get me through law school faster. And so we just began to play with all of these options. That's the power of a method. And the method could be different for everybody. Even though we all end up at the same place, we end up a lawyer, we end up having lost the weight, we end up wealthy. The method, the process that we took to get there could be just as diverse as we are. And so I want you to be mindful of what your goals are. Is it financial freedom? What does that look like for you? Is it starting your own business? What does a successful business look like for you? Is it losing weight and getting more fit? Is it around your relationships or around your self-care? Whatever your goals are, I want you to first find what is the formula. What is the formula? What is the fixed pattern that is used to get consistent results for the goal that I have? And then I want you to explore all of the different methods that are available to you to make that formula your reality. And one of the most important components about this is that there will be people who will try to tell you that their method is the formula. And it's not. That is one of the biggest lessons I learned in building my business. When people say this is the way to get clients, this is the way to market, this is the way to close. I don't think so. Marketing is about getting your message known to your ideal client. The formula of marketing is doing a process that gets your message in front of your ideal client. That's the formula for marketing. Now, the method in which you do that could be so many different ways. Some of us market through webinars or Google Ads. Some of us market by networking or referrals. Some of us market by social media and videos. Some of us market by sponsorship. There are lots of methods that you can use to achieve that formula. And the key is to find the method that resonates with you. So I hope that this episode has been helpful for you in understanding that there is the way and then a way. And in doing so, that you're able to see that there are multiple paths to getting to the formula result. And I would love to hear your takeaways, your ahas, your nuggets that you got from this episode. Again, I hope that I explained this correctly because it's so important. It's so freeing to understand that once you have the formula, you can choose your method. So please leave a comment. Hit me up on Twitter at Doreen Rainey. Be sure to leave a review or rate this podcast. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, be radical. Thanks for listening to the Radical Success Podcast. We would love to hear from you. Be sure to head over to iTunes and subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Until next time, stay radical.